Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K Collector, and I'm back with the last part of my Sega Saturn collection that I was going through. The first few episodes, I took you through all of my imports, and now I've made my way down to the North American titles. And I've got about 8 games here that I want to share with you. Don't want to take too much time, but these are the 8 Sega Saturn games that I have that are North American titles. And I'm not going to do any more jabbering or blabbering. And I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. And I'm going to start with this one game that I actually kept out of a lot of games that I got when I first started collecting for the Sega Saturn. And that is the Sega Sports World Series Baseball. And this is a pretty cool one. This reminds me of Triple Play. I used to play that on the PlayStation 1. And this was very nostalgic to me, even though it's a little, it's different. It's on the Sega Saturn, but it's still a fun game to play. And I do like playing baseball games. So I thought that this one was a cool one to keep. And although, the case is a bit beat up, it's just, the nostalgia just caught me. And I felt like, I'm going to go ahead and keep this in the collection here. So that's World Series Baseball on the Sega Saturn. All right, and then the next one that we have up here is the Night Warriors and Dark Stalkers. So this is part 1 of the Dark Stalkers series, and this is just a ton of fun to play on the Sega Saturn. I mean, it's one of those games where the sound of the Sega Saturn combined with the Sega Saturn controller, just the ease of getting out combos and special moves, special attacks. This is just a pretty stellar game, and definitely one that I had to have in the Sega Saturn collection. So that is Night Warriors and Dark Stalkers Revenge. Pretty cool game. And then just continuing in that vein of fighters, this is a game that I always used to play after band practice. And don't ask me about band practice. But I remember there was a corner store, and every day I used to go to this arcade at the corner store. And XMen Children of the Atom is really where I first started fighting with Spider-Man. And I really got good with Spider-Man in X-Men Children of the Atom. And then when Marvel, I think it was Marvel Superheroes, the one with the gems, then I kept using Spider-Man in that one. And then eventually when Marvel vs. Capcom came out, then I was still using Spider-Man and just wreaking havoc. But this is where a lot of it started for me back in the day. And this is another one of those like after school, after band practice, just fighters. And I just love the whole retro 90s feel. Look at Wolverine. Look at Juggernaut. I mean, just classic nostalgia. And this is one that I had to have in the collection. All right, keeping that train going here. Next up, we have, this one's a pretty cool one. It's pretty common, but I feel like I have, every version of this game. Probably not, but Virtual On. Yeah, this is a pretty cool one. This is where it started. The graphics on this Virtual On are a little tough, but I keep in my mind that it is Sega Saturn, but still pretty fun. Just graphically a little tough to digest at times. When I really want to get into a game like this, I would go to the one on the Dreamcast. There's Virtual On the Dreamcast. There's also a Virtual On PlayStation 2. So, but really cool game nonetheless. Wanted to have it on the Saturn, kind of like, just one of the founding consoles here for this series. So figured I'd check it out. All right. Have it there in the collection. The next one that I've played this game is kind of clunky to play, but Dark Savior, I mean, it's a cool RPG. It's an action RPG. Graphics are pretty good for Sega Saturn. I like it. It's cool. It's one that you can sink your teeth into. Dark Savior is a pretty cool game. Just got to be ready to put in that time. But a really fun game, plays in that whole isometric viewpoint. Pretty cool story, and definitely one that I wanted to have just because there's not a lot of games like this on the Sega Saturn. And then the next one that we have up here, I got this. This is just, a very beautiful game. Got it for its beauty. I mean, a stall. You can't really have a Sega Saturn and not have a stall. It's just a very beautiful game. It's a platformer. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer. It's pretty hard, especially as you start moving through the levels. It's a hard game to kind of play through, but it's very, very beautiful game. The sound in this game is amazing. The music is amazing in this game, and just the overall artwork and the sprites, the 2D sprites are just amazing in this game. So a style is one that I wanted to have on the Saturn, and it's one that I have in the collection. And then just keeping that train going, I love me some beat 'em ups. I'm a huge fan of beat 'em ups. And there aren't a ton of beat 'em ups, I feel like, on the Sega Saturn. If there's a lot, then let me know. Correct me down in the comments. But Three Dirty Dwarfs is one that I wanted to have in the collection. This is just a very funny game. It just, it feels like you're kind of roaming through the streets of New York. I think this is another one of those games that are based like in the Bronx again. For some reason, the Sega Saturn had all these Bronx games, Last Bronx and then Three Dirty Dwarfs. But this is just a pretty cool, funky game. Just remind me of like the after school cartoons that I would watch back in the 90s. And, just the gameplay is fun. It's pretty fun. You get to rotate between like 3 characters that have their own different moves. There's some projectile moves and special moves and stuff. And yeah, you're roaming through the city. Just doing your thing with these 3 dirty dwarves here. I didn't play it for too much, but it is a fun game. All right, and then this last game, I have beaten this game about 4 or 5 times already, because there's a few different endings that you can get. But that would be Guardian Heroes. This is the reason I bought a Sega Saturn to begin with. Just everything that you can do in this game. This is a side-scrolling beat-em-up hack-and-slash game with special moves, combos, and air combos. And the way you execute these, they're very fluid. It's almost like fighting game. It's almost like, and I hate to, keep referring back to Marvel versus Capcom, but it's very Marvel versus Capcom-esque. And, you get to fight on 3 side-scrolling panes, and it just special moves, and you can basically boost your attributes. It's like a side-scrolling hack and slash beat 'em up RPG game where you can just kind of build your attributes and your skills and your strength and HP and things. And Guardian Heroes is just an amazing game. This game is the reason I got a Sega Saturn, and it was going to be in my collection. And that does it. Sorry about that. These fall allergies, they just get to you. But without doing too much jabbering and blabbering, that is the Sega Saturn collection. Let me know what you got in your Sega Saturn collection. Sega Saturn is just too expensive. I can't keep up. These Sega Saturn games are in the thousands and high 100s, and just I can't do it. But I definitely made sure to get, again, back when I first started collecting for the Saturn, I made sure to get the ones that I wanted. And again, it's just a really great system. And again, for the games that you can't afford, they definitely check them out, either the PAL version or the Japanese version. Either or, a great experience. But again, I am the Y2K Collector. Thanks for checking me out with these Sega Saturn games, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Take it easy.